if you started your career today with everything you know, would you do anything different, or what would be your big advice, I guess, for Ted 20 years ago?
I would tell myself to lean in even harder. I wouldn't change anything. I don't have any regrets, Jack. I've had a tremendous career so far. I'm excited to continue going. But for me, when I actually look back, I love the fact the Detroit Lions situation popped up and then there was an opportunity there. I didn't skip a beat. I was like, I'll be there tomorrow. I don't need health care. Whatever. I don't care how much I'm going to make. I'll be there tomorrow. And having that attitude, I think it's very important, especially for the younger coaches coming up right now, because salaries have gotten much larger. So now I think there's this other component of some people getting into the profession to make money. I think make sure it's a passion. And I talk about that in the book. To me, it's called congruence. It's when your passion meets your skill. You have to be skilled. You have to have the knowledge. You have to have this prerequisite baseline of knowledge. But then you have to match it with your passion. If you really want to do some extremely successful stuff and have a positive impact on this world, when you can match that passion and that skill level, that can lead to really great outcomes.
I guess for those listening in that's tuning in and wants to be the best, what have you noticed is the differentiate between someone who is living their best and performing at their highest of sustainable long period of time compared to those that are sort of working towards that?
I'm glad you brought this up, Jack, because whether you're a parent, whether you're a coach, whether you're running a business, a company, whatever it is, this is impactful because it's everything that we're talking about. It's having that fail forward mindset. It's having that growth mindset. That is the key separator that I've found. So when you see people that are constantly trying to improve, they have this natural curiosity. They're willing to take a leap forward, even though it might not be safe. And, they're like, I'm probably going to fail, but I'm going to learn through this process. Those are the people that I've seen do really cool things, have Hall of Fame level careers or run massive businesses that are producing hundreds of $millions of revenue. So I think those things are always comparable. And then the other thing, you add this, so you maintain that growth mindset. You add this one key word, consistency. Consistency over time is a separator. So the truest measurement of performance in anything you're doing is your level of consistency. And it's just like anything else. Tell me whatever your goals are. When you show me your habits, I'll tell you how likely you are to achieve them.
Delving into the vulnerability a little bit more, is that sharing, your experiences or areas that you've, how would you dive into that?
So when I dive in, that's part of my natural curiosity. I want to know what's driving every player that I work with. What is your why? Do you just want to be a multimillionaire? You want to get a big contract? You want to buy your mama house? Whatever it is, I'm going to draw on that every chance that I can, because that's also going to motivate that player, but it's also going to bring us together with that connected bond, because we know I might whisper something every time. If I know a guy's just trying to get his mom out of a bad neighborhood and buy her a house or dream house, I'm going to bring that up every day, especially in the challenging off-season days where he doesn't want to be there and it's uncomfortable. We're working our butts off. I'm going to draw on those things so that they remember. That's going to motivate them and inspire them, but it's also going to build that trust and that connectivity between us too.
And we hear about like the Mamba mentality and Michael Jordan, a lot of these famous athletes where work ethic was at its highest. And that was one of the reasons why they were so successful. And it makes a lot of sense. You outwork your competitors and you're probably going to be better. But how do you as an S&C also balance that up with the value for, like we're talking about here, well-being, which is sleep is the number one?
I love that you said Mamba mentality too, because this is something I took away from Kobe Bryant. I went to the University of Alabama to consult with them. So Kobe's there on stage and they're asking him Q&A. And this one freshman says, how did you become the best ever? And, he has those really intense eyes and he sits down and he looks at the kid and he says, I had to edit my life. I had to edit out all the things that I knew were not helping me become the best player ever. And then I need to edit in all the things that I knew would help. And that's where he talked about adding in that third practice during the off season. So we started to wake up at 3 a.m, but then he also realized I have to edit in something because I can't just get up earlier and keep pulling. I have to pour back in recovery wise. So he added a nap in the afternoon. So those things have to work in conjunction. Once again, we talk about that integration model, not balance. You have to integrate your rest, your recovery, and your work, and they all have to flow, and you have to listen to your body at times.
What are some important cultural things that you've worked on in the past that you've found effective, whether it be resilience, accountability, and getting their players to sort of drive that?
Yeah, one of my favorite books is Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. It's military based. He was a Navy SEAL and he was a commander in the Army. So for me, when I took the job in LA, I was 33 years old. Sean McVay was 31. So we were both the youngest in the entire league at our positions. So we're thrust into these kind of leadership roles. and we say, all right, how are we going to lead? We were both reading Extreme Ownership at the same exact thing at the same time, just by happenstance. And we applied a lot of those lessons because, once again, that ownership and that mentality of accountability, applying it to yourself first as the leader, and then watch the trickle down effect. Once you make it okay to fail forward, to own mistakes, and to show how you're going to improve from them, then everyone else on your staff, whether you're the head coach, the GM, or whatever, everyone else gets permission. So everyone wants to feel safe, protected, and like they're a part of something bigger than themselves. When you make it safe to fail and to own that mistake, then every bet's off. You're going to have a growth mindset mentality.